fellas. I go by the name Coach Daniel, and today I'm going to be your tutor in C++ programming. So today I welcome you all to the world of C++ programming. With my guidance and then my help, I will be able to help you to explore the fundamentals and best practices in C++ programming. We are going to dive into the main objectives on today's topic. So the first objective is introduction to C++. In this, we are going to get familiar with the history behind C++, and the significance of C++. Objective number two: why use C++? So in this second objective, we are going to learn about the advantages, the applications, and the use cases in C++. Objective number three is learn difference between the C and then C++. So we are going to understand the key difference between the two languages. That's the C and then the C++. Objective number four, we have the object-oriented components. In this, we are going to dive into C++ object-oriented programming features, including the classes, objects, inheritance, and then paramorphism. Paramorphism. And then our objective number five is learning standard library components like the input and the output stream. So with this, we are going to explore the input and then output stream library and other essential components. So these are the first five objectives we are going to take handle of in this chapter. Thank you. It's a brief history of C++. So in 1979, we had Johnny Sustrop, who began developing C with classes at Bell Labs. Also in 1983, we have the language was officially named C++. So in 1979, Janis Tustrup developed the C with classes. And in 1983, the language was officially named C++. Also in 1985, the first commercial release, that was the first commercial release of the C++. Let me roll over again. In 1979, Janis Tustrup began developing a C with classes. Also in 1983, the language was officially named as C++. And then also, the first commercial release of C++ was in the year 1985. In the 1990s, the standardization efforts began. Also in 1998, the first international standard for the C++, that is the ISO, that is the ISO, and also the IEC. That's about the figures for 14882 is to 1998 was published. So in the following years, like the 2003, 2011, 2014, 2017, and 2020, the subsequent updates of the revision to the standard. So C++ evolution has been shaped by its focus on performance, flexibility, and reliability. Today, it is a versatile language used in various domains, from systems programming to game development and many more. So C++ standard library provides a wide range of useful components, including the input and then output streams. So the input and output streams, we have the C++ providing a comprehensive input and output library that allows for reading and writing data in various sources such as files, console, and strings. We have the stream classes, that's the input and output Streams. Library includes classes like the I stream, the O stream, the IO stream, the if stream, the off stream, and the F stream for handling different types of input and output operations. Some common inputs and output streams objects and functions include std out, that's the output stream object for printing to console. We also have the input stream objects for reading from the console, and we have the and L, that's to manipulator, that's a manipulator for converting new line character and flashing the buffet. Other standard library components include the containers, that's with its examples like the vector, the list, the map, assets, and many more. For storing and manipulating data, we also have the algorithm, that's the sort, find, count, and many more for performing common operations in containers. We also have the strings, that's the std, a string class for working with strings, and we also have maths, that's a C math in library for mathematical functions like sin, cos, and then the square. So the C++ standard library provides a wealth of functionality to simplify your programming task. What specific aspects of standard library would you like to explore further? In our next meeting, we are going to dive more into what standard library you would like to explore further. Thank you once again. I was it was your tutor, Coach Daniel. So C++ is a popular choice for many applications due to its 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 performance. So C++ compilation to the native machine code and lack of the runtime overhead make it one of the fastest programming languages. So the first on our list is the performance. C++ compilation to the native machine code and lack of runtime overhead makes it one of the fastest programming languages. The second point is the control. So C++ provides the low-level memory management and direct access to hardware resources, giving developers a fine-grained control. The third on our list is the reliability. C++ strong type system and compile time checks help catches errors early, reducing runtime failures. Fourth on our list is the flexibility. So the flexibility of the C++ supports multiple programming languages, including the OOP, the imperative and functional programming. Last on our list is its portability. So the C++ code can be compiled on various platforms with minimal modifications. So why we should use C++ is by its performance, its control, its reliability, its flexibility, and its portability. Operating systems, games, web browsers, databases, financial applications, embedded systems, and high performances computing. When performance, control, and reliability are critical, C++ is often the best language of choice. Also, the advantages that make C++ suitable for these advantages makes C++ suitable for, that's the above advantages, which is the control, the reliability, the flexibility, and portability. It makes suitable advantages for operating systems, games, web browsers, databases, financial applications, embedded systems, high performances computing. When performance, control, and reliability are critical, C++ is often the best language of your. So our next objective on our list is the object-oriented programming. That's the OOP. Sorry. So the object-oriented programming is a programming paradigm that revolves around the concept of objectives and classes. Here are core principles of the object-oriented programming. Encapsulation. This is when bonding data and methods that operates on that data within a single unit, hiding internal implementation details and exposing only necessary informations to the outside world. That's the encapsulation. So we have the abstraction. This focusing on the essential features and behaviors while ignoring non-essential details, representing complex systems in simplified ways. We have the inheritance. This is used in creating new classes based on an external or existing class, that's the parent class or the superclass, inheriting properties and behavior from the parent class. And we have the polymorphism, the ability of an object to take on multiple forms, that's achieved through the method of overriding or the method of overloading. And we have the composition. Combine, this is used in combining objects or classes to form a new object or class. This is the repeating or representing complex systems as collecting as of simpler components. So the object-oriented program provides several benefits, including modularity. That's the breaking down of complex systems into smaller or manageable parts. We have the reusability, reusing codes through inheritance or compositions. And we have the easier maintenance, that's modifying or extending code without affecting other parts of the system. So in C++, the object-oriented program is a fundamental concept that helps developers create robust, scalable, and maintainable software systems. Alright, so let's dive into the differences or the similarities between C and then C++. So C and C++ are closely related programming languages, but they have distinct differences. So first of all, let's take the similarities of C and then C++. So we are going to consider two things: the syntax and then the performances. Okay, so first of all, let's take the performances. Both languages are known for their efficiency and performances. That's very true. And then with the syntax, the C++ is built upon the C, and most C codes can be compiled with a C++ compiler. The differences of a C and then a C++. One difference we can pick is the object-oriented programming, that's the OOP. The C++ supports the object-oriented programming concepts like classes, objects, inheritance, and polymorphism, whilst the C does not. Templates. The C++ provides templates for generic programming, which is not available in the C standard library. So the C++ here also has a vast standard library that includes containers, algorithm, and many more. Whereas the C standard library is smaller and more limited, and we have the memory management. So with the memory management, the C++ introduces new operators like new and deletes the dynamic memory allocation. In addition to the ma- malloc and free functions from C. When to choose C and then when to choose C++. So when to choose C is when there is an embedded system. So C is often preferred an embedded system due to its simplicity and lack of overhead. The operating system's development. C is still widely used in operating and performing and its performance in control. Why choose a C++? Some in games, C++ is a popular choice for game development due to its performance, control and flexibility. We also have the systems programming. So a C++ can be used for systems programming, including devices, drivers, system utilities, and many more. We also have the high performance application. So the C++ is suitable for applications that require high performance, such as a scientific simulations, financial modeling, and many more. Also, ultimately, the choice between a C and a C++ depends on the specific need and requirements of your project.